Hey comic fans, it's Wednesday morning. That means it is time for your weekly look at what's new on the shelves at your local comic book store. Now, I was told I talked a little long last week, so this week we're going to truncate the video, make it a little bit shorter. Let's see how many books we can cram in. First off from DC, it is Superman Red and Blue. Now, obviously DC looked at the sales success of Batman Black and White and the popularity and said, let's see if we can work that magic with the Man of Steel. But now they're going to give him 2 extra colors, so we get the iconic red and the iconic blue, which actually makes for some pretty interesting comic stories with certain color shifts. Not only that, but you get a couple of pages that are in black and white, so you can color them yourself. So brand new on the shelves this week, Superman Red and Blue. Red and blue crayons not included. Also new from DC is a brand new era for Justice League. So we get the Brian Michael Bendis take on the characters. It's going to take the team in a completely different direction. So if you've wandered away from Justice League in recent years, this is actually a really good time to pick it back up. Not only do we get Brian Michael Bendis, but we get a Justice League Dark backup by Ram V. So they're so excited about this book. It's got 5 covers. The regular logo cover, plus the wraparound cover, because the Batman one was awfully successful. And we get 3 covers. 3. Celebrating the Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League film that everybody seems to be really excited about. So you get your choice of 1, 2, or 3 of those. So a lot of great stuff to choose from. Come in and select your favorite. Moving over to Marvel, King in Black continues to be the local hotness. Got a couple of King in Black crossovers this week. Sword number 4, I'm not going to say a whole lot about it because I will sell out of this book. There's just a little question of that. So really all I'm going to say is it's here. You've been warned. Also, we get King in Black, the Amazing Spider-Man, the inevitable crossover that was going to happen. But hopefully these will tide you over until the next issue of King in Black comes in. Speaking of which, the next issue of Thor, Donny Cates' run, is absolutely been smashing it right out of the park. Prey is getting close to wrapping up as a storyline. So if you haven't been following Thor, you should be, because you're missing out. Donny Cates actually is just doing wonderful work here. Anyway, it's here, so there you go. Also new from Marvel, and at the same time kind of old, is the 80th anniversary spectacular for Captain America. Now, he's beginning to kind of look his age there, as is the Submariner, but either way, this book is actually pretty neat, because what they did was they took classic stories from Captain America #1, his first appearance, and his reintroduction in the Silver Age in the 60s in Avengers #4, and reinterpreted them with modern creators. So actually really kind of a cool idea. So we get a very modern take on some classic comic book stories. If you're a Captain America fan, don't miss that. One more book from Marvel to talk about, just because I particularly like it, and that is Marvel. This is, I believe, the final issue of this one. Really has just been a joy to read, because it's a bunch of really great artists doing key moments and general themes from the Marvel Universe of the past. Very much reminds you what made Marvel so great in the first place, so I'm pretty excited about that one. Also now, we're going to move over to the Independents, a company we haven't been carrying a lot of their books, but we're starting to pick more of them up, is Aftershock. This week we get in The Bequest. Now, not to be confused with A Quest, this is the B team, but either way we get a cool D&D fantasy take. They don't do as much fantasy as they should in comics, so we'll see how the success of this one does. Kyle Higgins continues with Radiant Black, the second issue. Now, I really enjoyed the first one. You can tell it's really a personal project for Kyle Higgins. So we continue to develop the character here in this one. So if you haven't picked it up, I believe you still have copies of the first one. You definitely want to pick up the first 2. Something that is not new, but sort of new at the same time. Noctera, yeah, I know, didn't you see this before? Yes, you did, but this cover, they've now re-released it in a glow-in-the-dark edition. I've already looked at this, in the dark. It's really cool. It's kind of subtle, mostly with the torch, and then kind of lighting up some of the stuff around it. Absolutely worth picking up an extra copy of this book just for the cover alone. Book I highly recommend. And speaking of recommending, Ultra Mega, because I don't recommend this one at all. Honestly, just over the top. Hyperviolence, teeth and gore and entrails and more blood than all the Phantasm movies put together. Just ridiculously tasteless. And of course, I'll be selling out. Either way, Ultra Mega, it's here. Not recommended by me. Moving over to trades. Superman versus Shazam. And what's great about this book, because I love this character, is this has stories from when he was called Captain Marvel. So yeah, Superman versus Shazam, but he never calls him Shazam in the book. Also, we get Chip Zdarsky's Stillwater, finally collected in its first volume of the trades. So Definitely, a lot of people really were waiting for this one in trade. This is the kind of book that sells better in trade than it does in floppies, and the first volume is here now. Book I've really been looking forward to because I've actually already recommended some people when I didn't have copies on the shelf, and that is The Sheriff of Babylon. Tom King actually is quietly becoming one, I think, of the better writers in comics. He does really, really good work. This is not your usual take. It probably will be on our DC shelves, but it really probably needs to be with the indies because it's definitely more of an indie type of story. Definitely worth, if you're looking for something a little different, Tom King always delivers, and this is one that not as many people have read. Two more that I will do, because now we're into our section of comics for cool people, because we get this hardcover edition of BPRD, The Devil You Know Omnibus. Honestly, if I have to sell you on Hellboy, then move on to the next one. This is great stuff, really. All of Mike Mignola's Hellboy universe stuff is really good, and of course with this, he's joined by a whole lot of other creators. But if you don't have these books, this is really a good way to pick them up. One final one, for those of you who are getting really sick of me talking about Umbrella Academy and feel left out because you haven't been picking up, now's your chance because the trade is out. Series just barely ended and now we get the trade. Honestly, folks, it's cool stuff. And if you want to be cool, this is a book you want to do. That's it. So we've come in a little shorter than last week. Guys, have a great St. Patrick's Day. It's spring's beginning to kind of clear up, but we'll see you soon at the store. Wherever you're at, remember, it's not about having what you want. It's about wanting what you have. Be safe, everybody.